Beyond every mountain lies another, and the endless Zagros Mountains of Iran perfectly embody this saying. The shepherds who have lived here for generations must trek through these rugged, layered cliffs every single day. When summer brings lush pastures, they hurry to cut and store hay to prepare for the long, harsh winter. Navigating steep, rocky trails amidst howling winds makes hauling this forage an incredibly exhausting chore. Herders and their donkeys make countless trips across these peaks to safely transport the harvested hay back home. A new day dawns over the Zagros Mountains as the old shepherd, Lao Qian, begins his work. Yesterday, he led Ves and Mohammed to gather hay in the mountains, working tirelessly until sunset. Despite their efforts, much forage remained, so the trio heads up the mountain early this morning to finish the job. In these rugged highlands where four-wheeled vehicles cannot reach, a herder's life depends entirely on their four-legged donkeys. These stubborn yet loyal companions carry the heavy bundles of hay as the men tie the load securely and set off. Following the narrow mountain trail, Lao Qian and Mohammed led the donkeys not downwards, but towards the other side of the peak. Where exactly are they heading instead of taking the hay straight home? The treacherous, gravel-filled paths of Zagros make every step a risky endeavor for the donkeys. A single slip here could easily result in a disastrous fall for both man and beast. After a long trek across several peaks, Lao Qian and Mohammed finally arrive at a flat clearing near the summit. This area is accessible by vehicles, which is why Lao Qian parked his small pickup truck here earlier this morning. Thanks to the truck, they avoid endless trips down the mountain, swiftly unloading the hay into the vehicle. Next to them sits another family's pile of hay, as every herder in this region must plan ahead during the summer. When autumn winds wither the landscape, the sheep rely entirely on the forage stockpile during these warm months to survive. Therefore, gathering enough winter feed is the absolute top priority for these mountain families before summer ends. loading the 3 bundles of hay into the pickup truck, the 2 men lead their donkeys back into the mountains for the next haul. Upon their return, Ves hands the lighter task of crushing the hay over to Laukian, while he and Mohammed head back to the field. They go back to gather the remaining forage left behind from yesterday's harvest. Laukian's home sits at the foot of the mountain, where neighboring herders have already migrated to the higher summer pastures, leaving his family as the last to depart. Laukian is a perfectionist who insists on finishing every last chore before focusing on the big migration. The howling winds at the summit are both a refreshing blessing and a frustrating hurdle for the working men. Strong gusts scatter the hay, forcing Ves and Mohammed to constantly bend down and collect it, draining their energy even faster. Yet, the fierce mountain breeze has its perks, sweeping away their exhaustion and quickly drying their hard-earned sweat. Ves and Mohammed finally bag the very last handful of hay and haul it all back to base. Now, the men simply need to use the donkeys to crush the forage and separate the stalks. Laukian's family isn't alone in the mountains today. Another herder family passes by with their donkeys, also gathering supplies. That extra pile of hay stacked near the truck earlier belongs to them, and bumping into neighbors out here calls for a friendly exchange. Greeting each other in the deep mountains is a basic sign of mutual respect and courtesy. Once the hay is crushed, they stuff it into heavy sacks, hoist them back onto the donkeys, and secure the bindings. Laokian and Mohammed press on with the donkeys to transport the load, while Ves stays behind to pack the remaining forage. With everything tightly bundled and packed, the team drives the donkeys forward to continue their grueling transport journey. Ves and Mohammed each shoulder an extra heavy sack of hay. In these unforgiving mountains, man and beast share the exact same burden. Just as donkeys are born to bear weight, these mountain herders must rely on sheer grit, working tirelessly like pack animals themselves. Hauling the final loads up to the peak and into the truck bed, Laokian can finally drive the cargo down to his home. But Ves and Mohammed cannot join him in the truck just yet. They must lead the donkeys all the way back to the rocky slope. 3 more bags of hay remain there, waiting to be packed on the donkeys and carried down the dangerously steep, gravel-covered terrain. Whether shepherd or pack animal, every step requires extreme caution, as the slightest mistake means a nasty fall. On his way down, Mohammed loses his footing and takes a tumble. After a full day of trekking and chewing on dry hay, the donkeys haven't had a single drop of water. Spotting a puddle at the base, the thirsty donkeys rush to drink while Ves and Mohammed wait quietly, letting them rehydrate before moving on. Arriving back home, the very first task is to unload the heavy cargo from the animals as evening rapidly approaches. Laokian instructs young Salman to return the borrowed donkey to their neighbor, since only 2 of the 3 animals they use today belong to Mohammed's family.